Bomber fans, PlayNow.com reminds you that when you bet on blue, there's only one legal online sportsbook in Manitoba. Only one that guarantees your winnings. Only one where the profits stay here to support your community. Play your Bombers at PlayNow.com, your hometown sportsbook. Enjoy responsibly. And now, on to the show. Welcome to the Handled Internally podcast. I'm Ed Tait from BlueBombers.com, joined as always by Darren Cameron, the Blue Bombers Senior Director of Player and Public Relations, Chief Consigliere, and Assistant to the Traveling Secretary. Long title. Also, as per usual, Zach Collaros, starting quarterback of your Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and Dalton Schoen, receiver of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Let's get right to this, boys.
Special guest.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Special guest.
The Bicep Award winner from last week, right?
Well,
the game show that Josh was playing. What is that game called?
Yeah,
Darren missed the memo.
It was Guess the Bicep, and Josh was pretty mean with the angle he chose on that picture. A lot of people clown me, but, you know, we keep
I thought it was a great angle, and Darren missed the memo. He was supposed to wear a cutoff as well.
Yeah,
he goes to the gym and rides that bike.
Somebody told me, Eddie, same with you, buddy.
Yeah.
So,
There's no
so
show
so
here.
it's Monday, 11 a.m. Got back Saturday night at 1:45. Nice trip all around.
Great trip.
Great trip.
Great experience. Great travel.
Cold shower at the end of that game was tough.
Yeah, the showers weren't working.
Tough way to celebrate.
Yeah, the hot water was crazy, but, you know, I think we just kind of leaned into it and said it's like an ice bath, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the rehab going
burning
already.
the brown fat. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
So wait a minute, I got a question about that, because I heard a bunch of, when I'm in there doing interviews, a bunch of guys coming out of there saying, what the hell, there's no hot water.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that that's not by
Design?
planned.
I have no
Sabotage?
idea. Yeah.
Come on. I mean, it's a bit of building.
Snoop Dogg was there last week.
Yeah,
you think he showered in cold water?
He had a cold shower, I bet.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Do you?
I don't
think they would have done that to Snoop. No.
It's crazy.
You're not quite on that level yet, though. But
Well, they used
maybe once we get to 300 touchdowns.
I could do some of his classics, though. I could. Karaoke style.
You're saying 300 touchdowns for hot water. I like
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
it was good.
There's the incentive right there.
It was a good trip.
I have a script, but we're not even going to go follow.
Yeah, no, we can follow it. We can follow it. But yeah, good trip. Good.
You are the host.
Good flight. Air Canada did an unbelievable job.
Way to move here.
And a very comfortable experience.
Great flight. Love the new team plane.
Yeah, there you go.
Great
Eddie,
flight. Those buckets of chicken were just fantastic to start. Thought it was KFC as soon as we got on the plane.
Yeah, it wasn't. No.
Still good chicken.
I ate a sickening amount of food on that plane, and I can't recite it because it's just too embarrassing. Mm-hmm. But
I think
can't
you could guess.
again.
I think you could guess which teammate our stewardess knew the first name of by the second go around on the plane for chocolate chip cookies.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I think we can guess. In fact, I got a text message at one point on the flight during the ride that said, "We got a problem. Should we cut Stan off with the cookies?" And I said, "Yes."
Yeah. He had two on the way back. He was trying to figure out how to play spades. We were trying to teach him. So yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, Eddie. What do we got for the script?
Well, we've been rolling here for a while, but I think we're just going to gloss over the plane. We're going to gloss over the hot water now. There's no hot water. Okay.
No hot water.
We're 2-0. How about that? Both against BC. Season series is done with them. That's bizarre, right? The Bombers will not play them again unless it's the playoff.
A little unfortunate, honestly, because from a marketing standpoint, they've become a really good draw. You know,
well,
at least in Winnipeg, but
was maybe something on the line, right? Yeah. And then now it's really weird too because the schedule has 5 straight games against the West to open. We've got Edmonton Thursday here. You're saying ticket sales are through the roof for that already, right?
Yeah, they're moving really well, and
sorry,
I don't have the ticket count in my office, but it's going the way they have been for a long time.
And then a home and home with Calgary, so it's all Alberta coming up here. 5 in a row against the West. So anyway, one of the kind of I'm a numbers guy, and one of the things that really popped out to me about Saturday night, which was a massive win, was 200 career touchdowns. And look, if you look at the list, I got it right here.
You gonna rattle off every name?
Yeah.
You got it?
It's still a long
right.
time, don't we?
Yeah, we got
okay.
Yeah. Although Al did say that he needs to see Zach after this for his massage or something, so make it quick, and we're already at 11:16, so Al's going to be waiting.
All right.
Training room's up until 12.
Yeah.
I think that we need to get this list out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we're wasting time by dilly-dallying here. Okay, you're the 14th player to throw for 200 career touchdowns. Anthony Calvillo, 455. It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I thought you meant a list of guys I've thrown touchdown passes to. No, that'd have been fun.
We're getting that from the league.
Calvillo is the craziest number ever, though.
Yeah,
455.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Damon
60
Allen.
years
I
old.
want to catch number 455.
Damon Allen, 394. Henry Burris, 373. Ron Lancaster, 333. Ricky Ray, 324. Matt Dunnigan, 303. Kevin Glenn, 293. Tracy Ham, 284. Doug Flutie, 270. Danny McManus, 259. Tom Clements, 252. Bo Levi Mitchell. I have him at 226. Anyway, Dieter Brock, 210. And now you're at 201.
Tui with 201.
Tui with 201.
Big
But let's
200
talk
right
about
here.
200.
Yeah, 200 right here.
Did you know?
Yeah, well,
You didn't seem too concerned to flip the ball. At
I
the
know,
ref
yeah.
and-
So I was gonna say, I
Chucked it in
knew,
the stands.
I knew going into the game that Zach needed one for 200. Obviously, I'd forgotten while we were playing the game.
Yeah.
And so I scored and I gave it to the ref, and luckily, equipment went and found the ball.
Yeah, we were ready. Yeah, we had told Buddy.
More concerned with that back left corner of that end zone. There's just cement there. That
Yes.
he
Yeah.
just crushed himself on.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll say the whole play. I was running a little out route, and as soon as I saw Zach start to scramble, I wheeled it up the field, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's coming."
I feel like you've scored in that exact end zone, in that corner of that end zone.
I have,
before.
and
Yeah.
so there actually used to be cement on the side, and I almost wiped out on that cement. It's now
16
filled in.
taco?
Well, yeah, I scored that one too. I threw one that Drew threw me one late in the year 22 that I scored, and I stepped on some cement. They filled that cement in with rubber, but now in the back corner part, more cement. So yeah, I was pretty concerned about just not dying in that corner.
Sure. Sure.
What was the one Drew threw you?
I was like on the ball, just running a go.
You weren't playing that game. You
Yeah,
you had the day off,
sitting.
and you took full advantage of it.
I had about 35 sitting in Gary.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, pretty special for Zach, obviously, to hit 200 on a play like that. I think he might have been more of a fan of his 201st one, but it's cool.
No. They both were great. I mean, I was so happy for Tui. Like it's just for a offensive lineman, it's just awesome.
And how long has our offense been practicing that play? It feels like a long time.
We've run that particular concept in practice quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and normally Zach just doesn't throw to the ball, so
Yeah.
I meant the
It's actually a good catch. Like, I mean, it was whipped in
hell of a
there.
catch.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think both of those touchdowns he threw were
He's got
incredible
great
throws.
hands. He's got great hands too. He does. He's got
Yeah.
great hands.
Tui does. I think on both of those, if you could have stopped the play and said, Zach, go place this ball exactly where you want it, that's where he put it. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the first one was like just pure adrenaline, like watching it back on tape because it went about 40 yards and I was moving to my left. It felt like in the game though, I just kind of just lofted it to you for like 10 yards, and I look back and I'm like, oh, that actually traveled.
I'm not gonna lie. When you threw it, I thought I was gonna have to like come back and fight for the ball.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
Well,
thanks.
You're rolling left and like twisting, and like you said, I was about 35 yards down the field at that point, and it just right perfect spot. I was kind of just shocked when it happened.
Yeah, that's kind of not our usual thing. Usually, I'm going to my right and
That's
finding you.
I told someone this. I said when I wheeled it and I saw he was scrambling left, I was so excited because most right-handed quarterbacks are gonna roll right.
We got to the first one you had with me rolling to my left in that stadium is like the biggest glitch play since Ryan Smith one year.
Drew Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one he caught in the back left end zone going the other way was the craziest catch.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
a
threw
wild
it and it was like
one.
the matrix stopped and you went like
I just threw my whole body and I said, I hope that I catch
was that
this.
what year was that?
That was in 22. That was like my first big game up here.
Sean was out all night in BC. It was a crazy
Yeah, you know,
the back bar of the Rocks.
First time in Vancouver, you know.
Well, the one about Tui, after the game, you asked when we were doing our post-game interview when the last time was that we had a big man touchdown like that. And I didn't have it off the top of my head. I looked it up yesterday. Jason Vega, 2012.
Oh, yeah.
D lineman.
12?
Oh, you meant here.
Because Vegas scored.
Because you mentioned
Ryan Bauman had one in 2015. Yeah, it was a sweet
Vegas.
catch.
I think Vega has scored one in the East Final,
10 years
like a
ago.
year before that.
I didn't look at
It was
regular
He
season.
moved the pocket right, and he just like did a
That
little
would have
delay.
been a year
I just
before
lost
anyway.
my- He went full Dembski. Willie Mays over the. It was a great catch.
Yeah.
Ryan Bauman. I love.
So
him.
you're
at
at
for my catch.
you're at 201 in 2025. Your first touchdown pass was in 2012. Remember who it was to?
Sammy Tranks, and I knew that before everybody sent me that.
Yeah.
was
What were
it
you
to?
doing? What were you doing in 2012?
Sammy Tranks was his name. He was
Freshman in high school.
Holy
Wow.
Come on, dude. It's crazy.
I was
Come on,
I was
man.
playing freshman ball in Overland Park, Kansas.
Dreaming
Blue Valley
about
Northwest.
playing for Bill Snyder one day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually
and he
had a broken thumb that year. I remember they would let me play defense, but I missed like most of the year at receiver, and I was pissed.
And he was in the CFL throwing touchdowns.
And he was in the CFL throwing touchdowns. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That is wild.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I didn't think about it until Darren just brought it up. I didn't
Yeah.
bring it up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Darren.
Yeah. So what else about the game in BC? You were a little upset at the end of the game, but we also saw a sign behind the bench referencing the podcast from last week. Hey, Zach, I'll buy you a double quarter pounder.
Said something to that effect, yeah. And I'm sorry I didn't come back to sign that. If you're watching this,
bring it to the next game.
We'll send you something to bring it to the next game. And you could buy me a quarter pounder with cheese, double quarter pounder with cheese anytime you want. Sure.
Yeah, there you go. Eddie, what do you got next?
Well, that show came up on the pregame show. We had a whole segment talking about your McDonald's.
I think we need to find some local Winnipeg restaurants to try to start pumping.
I mean, probably this kind of
took,
we were just this kind of was.
I know it's Darren's favorite spot in Winnipeg.
It is a great spot.
That's not entirely accurate, but I mean, it was kind of started as just a joke, and now it's morphed into this. If
you guys want to send bags of McDonald's for after games while we're having a joyous celebration in the locker room, we'd be more than happy for that.
Well, I have a deep question. If you get a double quarter pounder, is it a half pounder?
I don't know.
Yes,
not a quarter pounder.
He's
anymore.
the numbers guy, man.
Yeah, you're right.
That's true.
Have you thought about this before?
No, I haven't. It's bringing this up to me for the first time.
Sorry,
I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah, okay.
The old half pounder. That probably makes Zach feel bad about himself. You know?
What do they call it in Pulp Fiction and what country?
Royale with cheese.
Oh, he wouldn't have got that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, you're testing
He's
him
so
on that?
young. This is what I'm saying.
Movie knowledge, and he knows
just-
I don't watch old movies.
He's watching The Wire for the first time right
I know.
now.
I am too, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Ed, we got to chat.
I know.
You to the docs yet?
Huh?
Do you have Frank Sabaka yet?
No, I'm at the end of season 1 still.
Okay.
You got to catch up. Come
Okay,
on.
sorry, man. Yeah.
Season 2.
What do you got? An
really
actual
getting
job to
going.
do? You got something to do instead?
What's that?
You have something to do instead?
couple days a week.
I got a bunch of notes here, but you don't want to talk about the game anymore.
No,
do you?
we'll keep going. Yeah.
What else you got?
Okay, I got one.
Evan Holmes interception.
That was a great catch.
It was, and I didn't realize.
So was
He said
Parks.
afterwards he never had one last year, and I guess he's been hearing about it, right?
Really?
He never had an interception last year.
I feel like he probably had a million pass breakups.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that's why he hears about it, because some of those pass breakups.
No,
should have
I'm
been
just
fixed.
saying he gets tested all the time over there.
He does.
And he
covers a lot of ground.
covers a lot of ground.
No, that was honestly it was a great pick though too. Kept him at the end zone in that situation.
Yeah.
That was
The
awesome.
leader of book club now. He's taking over for Wally.
Also
Yeah.
board game club.
Board game club as well, and whatever other games you guys play.
Yeah.
Not board games.
Yep.
Imagination
Blood on the
games.
Clock Tower. I know
Yeah.
you're a big fan.
Yeah. What's the one that you guys dress up? LARP.
We don't dress up.
What?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Did you finish the
thought you
silent
dressed
patient?
up.
That was the last book. Did you
I
finish?
finished.
Okay,
Yeah.
because he was telling me that there's a new one.
Darren was telling you that?
No,
Oh.
Evan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But quick plug for The Silent Patient. Great book.
Yeah, it should be a show, or is it being made into a show?
Should be a
Like
show.
next-
I was sitting behind Evan and Dalton.
I was-
when I got to the page where like you fully figure out what's going on. I was like, whoa! And he was like,
I was dead asleep on the plane, and he just slaps me. He's like, "What?" I said, "All right, now I'm more."
And he looked at me like, "You idiot! You didn't know." I'm like, "I should have." But, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else you got?
Geez.
Darren, like the book club
okay.
topic. Sorry.
One quick thing. Tui said that this is cool too. Back to the touchdown, 201. Tui said, because afterwards he was kind of in a fog, right? He's still on an emotional high. I said, well, where's the ball? And he said, well, Stanley has it. And I said, well, why did you give it to Stanley? And he said, it's getting, all the old linemen are going to sign it, and they're going to keep it in the old line room. That's kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Osh didn't like that he gave it to Stan. Stan's been doing this for 15 years.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
got-
I think
Osh was playing a team meeting. It was like they were playing a game of hot potato.
Yeah.
Just kind of pitching it back and forth
I
to each
kind
other.
of liked it.
I liked it too.
I think Stan earned a right to at least carry the ball off the field.
Yeah. Stan, yeah.
Well, it's funny because
needs
he
a touchdown.
celebrated.
Stan doesn't
Tuesday.
have enough awards.
That's asking a lot. Getting
Oh, that would be interesting, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to move that much.
No. Put him in the backfield.
Stan?
Let him plow like the
Like the refrigerator?
yeah the
Back in
fridge
the day.
play.
That's kind of an insult to Stan. Damn.
I was assuming that's why you didn't throw me that quick
kidding.
screen in the game. You're like, Stan doesn't want to get out there to block that.
No, I knew you were gonna block. I knew you wanted to block to start the game off.
Yeah, that was.
You were trying to get dirty.
I was
Yeah,
very appreciative
yeah,
of that.
yeah.
But
Okay, you're going to say what else you got here? After the game, you were in the scrum.
whoa.
You got a bit emotional almost about when the question came up about appreciation, the moment, being out there with the guys, and I don't think people we kind of touched on it in last week's podcast, but really understand how it meant so much for you to get back out there and play and have it after having it taken away. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, we don't have to belabor the point, but yeah, we don't play enough games in this sport. Like basketball is 82, hockey is 82. Football is a small sample size, a small season. So when you get one taken away from you, it's tough because you put a lot of work into it in the off seasons and obviously during the season. A lot goes into each week, each game plan. So to miss an opportunity it's never fun, right? And like I always say, we have a great group of guys here. Sorry for pulling away there. Great group of guys here. So to be able to take the field with them each and every week is an honor. And so that was pretty much it. And as you get older, you'll figure this out too. You just cherish all the little moments, and especially in something that you can't play forever. So.
And then one day you'll have a teammate, Dalton, that was in junior high when you caught your.
I can only hope.
When you caught your 100th touchdown, there'll be somebody who's a freshman in Kansas right now dreaming of playing for Colin Klein. Once they bring him back.
No, I think Zach will still be out here slinging.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. What else you got, Darren?
So are we still going BC or are we moving on to Edmonton? Short week. So what's the prep like for you guys in terms of we got back Saturday. You guys were in yesterday, in today, obviously practice tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So how does everything get condensed?
It's a quick one. Obviously it's tough in this league when you're playing on 5-day rest, but obviously everyone deals with it, So yeah, I mean pretty much just one day of practice for the week. So a lot of mental reps got to be taken in and kind of just got to rely on what we got. So
yeah, when we were flying to BC, there was a coach sitting in front of me watching on his laptop Edmonton tape.
Yeah,
so it's interesting, and I'm sure you do the same thing. You're already sometimes trying to look.
Maybe on the day 4, I sat there and watched a little bit with one of the guys just to try to start labeling what we were going to call some of the coverages, but you don't want it to cloud too much of what you're doing the BC week. But yeah, I mean, especially in our league with the small coaching staffs, I mean, they only have 8-9 guys, right? So you got to get up and if they don't have a team of quality control and people like that to do that kind of stuff. So
yeah. Do you guys ever watch the television broadcast? Like I know you watch a game live, but is there any value in that? Because every time I see someone on tape, it's always the all 24 or the end zone shot or whatever. But is there any value in watching it?
I think there probably is. I mean, I don't watch enough on TV. I don't watch our games on TV, but I know that Osh, I think he goes through all of it, and he'll show us clips sometimes from TV. And there's definitely things that you can find on there, I think, that are meaningful. I'm sure you would say the same thing.
Yeah, I think definitely if you're looking at how stuff happens into game situational type stuff,
live stuff like that. It's hard to tell.
Clock management stuff.
Oh yeah, right.
Now I think when most guys are watching tape, they're probably just going to watch the all 24 because you can see it a lot better. Like the TV copy is usually so tight, and then
you can't really see like the passing game, especially.
You can't see the whole scheme.
Yeah,
and then it's just obviously so much quicker because you're just one play to the next and you get all the angles and stuff like that. But I definitely do think there's value.
Tons.
TV copy.
Yeah, from that perspective, the time management stuff, like at the end of half, like just how different the CFL game is in the last 3 minutes. Like in my whatever year this is for me, I'm still like learning a new situation that came up, and Osha's great about bringing that up, and I know he always has his eyes on it too. So
yeah, I used to say I learn a new rule up here every day.
Yeah,
There's usually one per game that comes up out of a situation like, oh, didn't even realize.
Well, I was even thinking about that at the end of the game that they have the onside kick, and you're out there too, and it's like bounding down the field, and Evan Holm swats it out of bounds.
Another great play by Homie.
Yeah, Holm had a Triple G. Triple G had an unbelievable game per usual. Yeah.
Did you get a chance to talk to Bucket all this time?
I did before. Yeah, I got to say hi, talk to him a little bit, just more on a human level than anything else. And he's doing a great job out there. It'll continue to build that organization like the way that he wants to do it and bring his culture in. So, but it was nice to see him. It's been a long time.
You talked to Mazzoli before the game too. I saw that.
Jeremiah. Yeah, Jeremiah and I were teammates in Hamilton for 4 years. So, he's been not all over the place, but. It's been a while since we've seen each other like face to face. So catching up with him was good, and just again more on the human level stuff, talking about our families and what's next kind of thing.
Yeah.
So with the 200th touchdown pass caught by you, kind of got me thinking about how it's been 3 years. Obviously, last year was kind of a wipeout, but the connection that you guys have kind of formed here happened very quickly. I remember early in training camp of 22, he was going on about how good this this kid was.
Were
you 83 in training camp too?
I was, yeah.
Okay, so he
didn't
might
tell
not have
me
known your
any of
name.
this.
Yeah, he might not have known your name, but he was referring to your number.
Yeah, or the purple gloves or K-State or any of those probably would have worked.
It's worked out pretty well.
It has, yeah. Well, and I was thinking about it just now when we were talking about the 200th. It's fitting that was our first drive in a real game together in a year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so first drive back at it in a year's time, and we did it basically the way we made our money in 22 on a scramble drill type play.
Yeah.
I see Zach scrambling, I just run for one of the corners and he'll put it out there.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool to
Him or Nick catching one like from this year's team would have been.
Yeah.
I'd have been happy with both.
Well, I
very
caught
happy.
I caught it in a Nick fashion, like over the shoulder.
Paid homage to Nick there,
and to Willie Mays. But,
and Willie Mays, yeah.
Wait, did he?
No, you go.
Yeah, because we looked it up. Dembski, it appears, has the most caught from Zach in Zach's career.
Yeah.
But
where am I at?
You got to be up there.
I got to be close.
Because what did you have in 12? Like or 22? You had.
Oh, I wasn't here in 12. That was him.
Yeah, no.
Here's what
I was going to say 12 touchdowns.
Here's what's happened to Dalton is we get up 35 points in some of these games, and I come out of the game after we had to hand the ball off for an entire quarter, and then Drew would come in and run all the cool plays.
I feel bad saying it, but in 22, when we were really rolling offensively, he's right. We'd get up a lot, and we would just hand off with him, try to get out of the game, and I'd kind of be like, get Zach out of here. Bring in Drew.
Right, so we can throw the ball.
Drew would come in, and then their mindset would change. Like, Drew needs to work the offense.
Yes.
He needs to learn.
And I'd be there on the side like, are these...
Yeah. We would run all the fun plays Zach wanted. Yeah, it was really great.
Yeah.
We dialed
So
up
some of
all
those,
week.
were from Drew in 22 and in 23.
Yeah.
But,
Love you, Drew.
Yeah, there you go. So what's the rest of the day look like for you guys today? Monday, and then we're obviously tomorrow, long day for you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, just really zipping through the games yesterday, watched them straight through, then some first down stuff. So took some notes on that, and then today gonna work first down again, and then get into second and 7 to 10. And I mean, usually a lot of those plays you can carry from last week too. A lot of defenses have similarities, and on a short week like this, I think it's important just to do things that you do well. Obviously, the season's still very young, so we don't know exactly what that is yet, but carry things that we know how to do and just try to play fast. But yeah, it's a lot of watching and talking through with Jarius and Hoagie about what we're going to do.
So do you guys go by your numbers? Like, do you say that this is the play that will work against what they know? Or is it how deep are the analytics here that on 2nd and 7, we are successful 63% of the time running this play? Is it that deep, or or these are the ones that you like, or how do you decide?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely those numbers. Yeah. Again, we don't have humongous staffs that we get all that stuff probably in a timely enough fashion. Not to belabor that point, but again, you kind of try to figure out what they're doing. So what is their tendency on whether you're a 2nd and 7 to 9, 7 to 10, or if you categorize a 2nd and 7 to 12 all the way through that, what do they do? They play 3 double cut, they play match, they play man. What are those percentages? And then you try to find concepts that you've done in the past.
That's cool.
How do you attack those certain coverages? And layer those against, what are we going to do if it is 3 double cut? What are we going to do if it's man? If we do get a cover 0, hey, do I have a hot here? Do I not? That's why I'm lucky. I have a guy like him and a guy like Nick Dembski where they know it's cover 0. We can just make adjustments on the fly, right? So, but yeah, it's building a game plan is one of my favorite things to do, which is why I've always thought I'd probably get into coaching afterwards. But yeah, like short weeks like this are difficult but fun at the same time. Yeah.
How do you feel? Sorry, go ahead.
I would say to the numbers of what I was just talking about.
This is the numbers guy.
I know. Well, and the caveat to what he just said,
I've heard about this.
Is the other team is probably going to watch it all and break it down the same way and say, "Wow, we have really high tendencies on this 2nd and medium or 2nd and 7, 10, whatever." And so they're probably going to come out and run something different. And that's where we're lucky that we have a guy like him who's, as we said, been here in long times in this league. He's seen it all.
Since 2012.
Exactly, since 2012.
Since he was in middle school.
And the coverage
in elementary school.
The coverages haven't changed since 2012. And so even if someone throws something different at us on a short week, we trust that 2 drives into the game, Zach's going to know kind of what they're trying to do and get us to where we need to go.
I want to ask you how the addition of Jarius has kind of been in terms of, obviously he wasn't here for camp, personal situation at home, came in the week of week 1, right? Yep. Yeah. And obviously he was working with you in the winter prior to having to take some time away. So How's that been in terms of an addition to the help? He's been around a long time. In fact,
for me, it's been great.
You played with him?
Yeah, I was a teammate of his in Toronto. He was our backup and started some games that year too. Threw a touchdown in the Grey Cup that we won against Calgary. Thank you, Stan. It's been great because working with him in the offseason was awesome. Like just getting reacquainted with J-Jack, and then his personality, just a fun guy to be around. So for me, it's been great. I know for the receivers, it's been a lot of help too.
It's been huge. I think he's been great at coaching us with a lot of good details, just talking through a whole scheme and kind of going all the way across the board about a little coaching point here or there on every route. And then that's something I really like because then when I hear him call the play, I think about all those little coaching points or even remind the guys around me and stuff, just so we're all out there speaking the same language and on the same page with what everyone's going to do. And I think it's been a huge help.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a head coach now.
Yeah,
he's
tons of experience.
Obviously been an offensive coordinator for a long time, been a part of different systems, whether it's like the, Mark Trestman stuff or the Huffnagel, Dickinson, that whole tree. So like he's got a great, just a great base of knowledge and, being able to apply that to what, Jason's wanted to do with us and then kind of meld it together. It's been fun like the last 2 weeks or whatever. And it's just exciting to be able to build upon that.
Well, and what about Jason as well? I mean, he's, I know you were excited when he got the job and then, certainly Strev as well said that he's, bringing some, different type of energy and whatever else. And there's not a slight on Buck at all. Just different kind of working dynamic.
Sure.
How have you found he's been calling plays and all that type of stuff?
I thought he's found a really good rhythm in the games, especially these first two. Doing a great job mixing it up. First play of the drives, first downs. Understanding what they're doing, and I think he's got good cohesion with the coaches on the staff too, so they're able to talk through that kind of stuff. And he's easy to talk to in game, easy to talk to, during the week of practice. So we're on the same page and that kind of stuff. So I do love that he likes to push the envelope. Whether that's in the run game or the pass game, he's not afraid to, try something that he has never run before or something that looks a little gimmicky or trick play-ish, but can create an explosion for us. Like if it's something that he thinks we can do, like, we'll try it in practice, and if we can, we'll run it in the game. So it's been cool to be around that for sure.
Is it a quarterback's ideal situation to call his own plays? Like, could you go a whole game and call your own play every game?
I asked him this last year, actually.
I've done it before in games, yeah. Hamilton, I used to do it, yeah.
You used to do it, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Coach Austin and Kent and Hamilton, there'd be times where like just in the middle of the game, he'd be like, you got it, go ahead.
Okay.
Or even before a game,
yeah.
He'd be like, you're gonna do it today. I think when I was that young, it was tougher. Maybe I wasn't prepared enough to do it. Probably. I think
that's more so what I meant.
I think so. In the Hamilton days, especially, we played so much 5 receiver personnel that it was just pretty easy to be like on the go. And I'm just looking at the defense and be like, okay, I know what they're running, and we can run this concept here to attack that, and run this over here. That'll clear it out if we get zone. If we get a man opportunity, then I got a man opportunity here, kind of thing, and building it that way. We use different personnels here, quite often. So if we wanted to do that kind of stuff, I think it'd be a little bit more challenging to like have that on the wristband and be thinking through that.
Right.
But it'd be a fun challenge.
So, how would you make that work? If you're going to call the plays, it wouldn't be as much personnel change.
Some guys,
because you'd like to break the huddle earlier to maybe see, right? And then you could call the play.
In an ideal world, you want to like break the huddle earlier and see what they're doing.
I think in Zach's ideal world, we just wouldn't even huddle.
Yeah.
We would just get on the ball, let him see the picture, and let him call what he likes.
Or some kind of muddle. But there's obviously merit to all of it. And I'm not saying we should change anything.
No, of course.
Success. But I have done it in the past, and I've done like from the line of scrimmage, working with Tommy Condell, who's in Ottawa now, being able to kind of get a snapshot and him being like, here's the menu of plays that you have to choose from. Go ahead. And we had some success doing that. So, I've done it before. I talked to a lot of those guys who played, Dunnigan, obviously Ken Austin. Those guys all call their own plays. Yeah. Now, it was a different time, different kind of scheme, It's a different – to me, the CFL has changed a lot, and I didn't watch a lot of it back then. But if you just look at like the statistics,
yes, crazy, yeah,
a lot more touchdown passes, but a lot more turnovers.
Yes,
right. So like now, I think it's become more of kind of not ball control, but what do we always say? You win the turnover battle, you win the game, right? So it's more of a controlled type attack, I think.
I was telling somebody I think I'll do a story this year on this. I went back and watched the Dunnigan 7-13 game. That he was a bomber.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and every snap was there was no shotgun.
Yeah,
and a fullback was on the field at every play.
Yeah,
and so everything is a rollout or a drop back, and that just shows you how much the game's changed since that was 1994. And it's just it's crazy.
How did Dunnigan ever get? How did they honestly throw for that many yards in one game? Like, how is that even possible?
Well, like to Zach's point, the game's changed. I think.
No, but wouldn't they must.
I think if you don't come out of the game, there's a possibility to do it. We've had games where we thrown for like 400 here, but we're out like in the middle of the third quarter or beginning of the third quarter.
That's what happened in that game.
Yeah, we're running the ball every play.
But those are blowouts. So at that point, you're going to stop throwing the ball. So how do you throw for 700 yards?
Just don't stop throwing.
Yeah,
just have fun.
Well, the game,
like me when I'm playing NCAA on Xbox.
Right.
You give the people what they want.
Right.
Throw the ball.
Right. And what you'd like to do. Yeah.
So there was a couple layers to that. So it was a Grey Cup rematch. It was the Bombers' home opener. Those are all little kind of factors. The Bombers had lost to Edmonton the year before, so they were pissed off. And then one of the corners was trash talking Alfred Jackson. Mm-hmm. So they kind of said, "Well, let's torch this guy." And that was his last game played because the receiver.
That's a good nugget. That's always good for those. That's great. That's a good story.
The receiver Alfred Jackson had.
They must have had like
it was. The game was close. He was lightening it up, and then but it was still close. So he had to stay into the game. To your point about why he didn't come out, but Jackson had 308 yards receiving that day. Oh. 2 Bombers broke the club record.
How'd you like that?
Receiving.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah.
What's the closest behind that mark?
Well, he broke Danny Barrett.
Not even close.
Danny Barrett had the record. It was 601.
Really?
So they broke the record by 100 and.
Well, stop throwing.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all right. Well, what else we got?
I like that.
Yeah,
that's a great story.
I think we need that Jordan mentality. We just got to imagine someone's shit talking us and then go out there and do that.
Yeah. They're always shit talking.
We could get there. We could get the 7-13 game and play it, and then have you react to it. That would be kind of a cool.
That'd be cool.
Like we'll sit here for 3 hours, watch a game.
Yeah, we can watch the sped up.
He doesn't. He's not off this afternoon, buddy.
I do love watching. I do love like the old.
He'll watch whatever
TV copies of stuff.
You know.
I love the old TV copies of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I got the all 24. The game wasn't on TV. Believe that. 7-13.
Well, now do we believe it if it wasn't on TV? Yeah. Is this a Wilt Chamberlain situation?
I was there.
Is this true?
I don't know.
I covered the
Gotta call Dunnigan.
I was there in the press box.
Get Dunnigan on the panel next
week.
You
can confirm. 7-13.
7-13.
Legit.
I got the play-by-play and everything. Yeah. Anyway, let's do that one time.
Sure.
He could be part of the conspiracy.
We'll have to have
cover up.
Have to have snacks.
I don't know if I believe it.
And refreshments.
Yeah, there you go.
I need to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got nothing else. You guys got to get going. So we're you got anything else?
You have a massage to get to too?
No, I don't.
I thought we were just hanging out, having a good time.
Are you coming back next week?
We're good. No,
we can bring Sean back on.
I don't think he wants to do this again.
I did have a question.
He's having fun. Look at him right now.
Okay.
So Zach being on every week's like a new thing this year.
Yes.
I just wanted to know what's that about? Is he trying to rival his boys at New Heights?
Yeah.
No,
I'm trying to sell.
We're the new Heights.
We're gonna sell it for $50 million to Spotify.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna start our own beer.
Yeah, you can come back if you want, but I figure. I mean, you're not exactly wanting to do this type of stuff.
Yeah, I think
he loves it.
He's
showing off his biceps right now. Look at him.
Well, actually, I didn't want to wear this. You were asking what we did today. We worked out before this, as Zach said, we're going sleeveless. But this is a pretty relaxed forum. I don't mind stuff like this.
Right.
Yeah.
You just don't like the on camera.
I don't live for it like
who?
Oh, I'm not gonna name names. Also, for the on-camera reads, it'd be cool if we had a teleprompter. But then I saw Ed's opening ad read, and I'm like, all right, maybe we don't need a teleprompter.
Exactly.
This guy's got it down.
Have you ever tried to use a teleprompter? Maybe just because I'm blind, it's tough for me.
Oh no, it's easy.
You're wearing contacts now, buddy.
Not right now.
I mean, who was that in camp, Josh?
You only wear them for games?
I was trying to shoot something in camp, and I was there for 20 minutes because someone before me, I know who it was, I'm not going to name names, someone before me couldn't get their ad read down, took up my lunchtime.
Hey, by the way, when we do this next time, can I get something where I'm not in like a high chair here? Like that?
Yeah, you guys shorted on this situation.
Who's putting us together here?
You can have my
When I
seat,
sit
Ed.
back, my feet are up in the air.
If we're gonna have a guest, can't we just add one more of these pieces here?
Yeah, let's.
Or does it need to be 2 more?
Like a panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway,
I think we just grow the pod one new player every week and then we stay.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
We become a permanent guest. So like week 20, we got like 19 players.
I like that. I love that. That's a great idea.
Well, we'll get a staff member. Kevin Todd will join us or something like that.
Yeah.
Potty maybe.
Yeah. K-Todd.
Matt. Matt would be angry.
I actually saw Foddy on the pod when you guys had him. That was great. He had some good stories.
Oh, unbelievable.
Al can come talk about what a thorax injury is. Be good.
Right. Yeah. All right. On that note,
I need a new chair.
On that note, I think we're good. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, hey, thanks.
All
for
right.
having me.
Thanks.